And I can't be turning 30 and not have changed my lack of a dating life.
Are you making a goal to actually go on?
Yes, actually. Yes.
Get ready. It's time. Christina, Catherine, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimorelli podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren.
And we're Cimorelli. Welcome back after a long break to
The
Cimorelli podcast.
Woohoo! We're
Guys,
back.
this is crazy. Number one, 2025 sounds like a fake year. There's no way that's real. There's no way.
Okay.
It just does. Does it
It's
not
just the
sound
number
fake?
system.
Yeah, and it's fake.
What's number
Okay.
two?
Numbers
Tell
are so
us.
fake. Number two, we're back with episode number 239.
Wow.
And it's January and the bulbs have all burned out, still they hang.
It's
I
like
love
the
that
most
song.
one of the most exciting times of the year and kind of one of the worst times of the year.
I agree.
One of the worst times for
best of
seasonal
times.
depression and one of the best times for excitement about goals.
Yeah, I feel like at least the first 2 weeks of January are good.
Type
And
A
then-
people are living right now. We are living.
Yes.
And
we are
everyone is
thriving.
sick.
Yes, everyone is
Literally,
always
because
sick. in
Everyone went home for
January.
the holidays, and then the first 2 weeks of January, everyone is sick. Hope you get well if you're watching.
Yeah, get well soon. And today we are going to be doing something seasonally appropriate, aka we are going to be looking at the year ahead. You know, thinking about our goals, our hopes, our dreams, our
And
live, laugh, love.
Reviewing last year's
and
goals
reflect on last year's goals.
and see what we think.
Wow.
What happened? How did we do? I'm so excited we're doing that because I feel like we never do that.
yeah,
We never actually go through what we said.
yeah.
Okay, so let's start with our highs and lows of the week.
Okay.
This is very difficult.
All right, I can start. My low was that I have felt very overwhelmed, but also very unmotivated to do anything. And I have multiple lists on my phone that I need to somehow merge into one greater list. And I just cannot get a handle on it. Like, I don't know. I really like organizing things and like making a plan. I just need to actually do it. But I've been feeling, I don't know, just a little defeated because it feels like there's so much right now that I'm like, but I also want to just enjoy life. I don't know. I need to figure out how to get everything in one thing. But yeah, that's my low right now, and hopefully that'll be a high soon as I check things off. My high was I celebrated my friend's birthday with her, just like a little one-on-one because I was sick the week of her birthday. And we did like a little hike, and then we went to this really cute coffee shop with her dog and just kind of like hung out. It was really fun. It was like a nice, like fun winter outing. So yeah, it was good.
Love it.
My high was, even though it's kind of weird though, but it was still good. I was just like in this really like locked in state yesterday where it's like, you know, when like your mind is just buzzing with creativity. I was working on like 80 songs and I got all these new plugins and I was like, and
We
it was
love
kind of
it.
like unhinged, but it was like fun, you know, to be so like,
You're a kid at the candy store.
yeah, to be so like into something and just be
Yes.
creative. So it was fun. But then my low was then I couldn't really sleep that well because I was so like
Wired. This always happens when
so
you work on a song.
yeah, and I literally, it's like the middle of the night, I keep telling myself, you're not gonna figure this out right now. You will not answer this question right now. Stop. Think about something else. Because that's the thing. Until I stop and just think about something else that's like less enticing, I will not fall back asleep. So that was a bit annoying that I couldn't sleep. But it was fine. I ended up going back to sleep at 10 a.m. this morning.
Love
Which
it.
was annoying though. I don't like going back to sleep because then you have to like drag yourself out
Wait,
of bed all over again.
Until when?
11.
Wow.
Well, no, 10:15 till 11 something. 10:30.
Oh my gosh, I have to start getting ready at like 9:30.
Oh. I got ready at like 11.
I feel like I really
11:15.
I love to
actually.
take my time. I go so slow.
I mean, I do, but I was like, I'd rather
So I'm
sleep a
trying to
little bit
relax.
more and just do it quick. So I guess I slept 10:30 to 11:15.
Well, that's wild.
Is what I did. But then it's like, then you have to wake up again to an alarm, and then you're like, oh my god, and it's like, I just did this a few hours ago,
Yeah, that's not right.
so not that fun, but it's okay. I was glad I got a little sleep.
It's not that much of a low. I could say my low was therapy, but it wasn't really that much of a low. It was like my
Been
drive
there.
there, I'm like, and then my drive back, I was like,
Yeah,
That
it's
is
like
real.
those videos are like before your 12-hour shift. And like, this
Yes.
is me after my 12-hour shift.
I was literally listening to like a fun song on the way there, and then I got in the car and I was like, I'm gonna listen to that fun song, and then I was literally like,
it's
Like,
not so
this is
fun
not
anymore.
fun anymore.
it wasn't quite a low because it was good because I can see the benefit of everything I'm doing, but it was
It's
some
still
EMDR
hard, though.
and it was like tiring. EMDR like takes a lot.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so draining.
But it's so helpful. Oh my gosh, it is so helpful. But yeah, it's definitely draining. It was emotional. It was deep.
Soaring highs, rock bottom lows.
Yeah, so
What
it's
is
not that
that?
much of a low, but
That's from our tour
soaring
thing.
highs.
Yeah.
We
Rock
had like a
bottom lows.
voiceover play before our shows.
It
That
was
was
so
one of
fun.
my highs.
Wait, do
Good.
we know where
Rock
those
bottom
are?
lows.
We should do one of those for a
Probably.
TikTok because those were so
Gosh,
iconic.
They were so good.
Yeah.
That would be really
Yeah,
fun.
that's
Anyway, what was my high? Let me think. I will just say my high is that I'm just back walking. I've been so sedentary. I've been on my healing journey. We all know this. I had been so sedentary for a few months. Like
I mean,
sedentary.
can you be that sedentary
Yes.
with your children?
I was thinking about how surprising it is that you can be so sedentary when you have two feral toddlers. I get up, I do something, and then I just lay on the couch until they force me to get up again. And you might think it would be a lot of steps, but I don't wear my watch very much, but I wore my Apple Watch a few of those days, and it's literally 3,000 steps for the full day.
I did that with when
It
the
is no
twins were
steps.
both 2, and I was walking 4 miles a day with them, like just on a normal day.
I didn't have to walk. I just lay there. I'm like, you get it.
Maybe there
you
was a
do
lot
it.
more life-threatening actions happening, like don't climb on that, don't do that. Rah!
No, there's not. That doesn't happen much for me. I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, Barrett, can you help her? So I just lay there. And then get up and then lay there and then get up. It's just like, I don't know. Don't have to walk that much. And because it's like winter, you're not really like outside.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, winter's hard.
So they just like
Mine
want to
was
play in the
summer,
sink
too.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Winter,
really
you're
not
just
bad.
scrambling, climbing the walls, like, okay, popsicle bath. Like, what are we doing here? Gotta do something to make the time pass.
That's my high is that it's not like I even have to try. I just am walking more and I go on my walk. It's
Whoa.
easy, whatever. And I'm just up and moving a lot now. Yeah, you guys don't get it. You probably just think I've always been up moving, but I have not been. You wouldn't know unless you're in my house. But Nick was saying like, yeah, you have so much more energy. You move so much faster and you get so much more done now. Because I was asking him, have you seen, my dietitian was asking me, has your husband noticed a difference? And I was like, I gotta ask him. So I asked him and he was like, yeah.
He was
So,
like,
like-
I'll keep working hard so we
I
can
was like,
keep
wow.
keep this train rolling.
Yeah. Okay. You?
Okay, that reminds me of my own personal low, aka the same thing as that, but it's for a different reason. I've had like this weird on and off like coldish vibe where I like had a cough for a few weeks and then it went away and then I had a sinus infection and then I've been coughing still and I'm like just like it's like going in and out, but it doesn't it's never getting bad enough to where I'm like, oh, I really need to see a doctor, because I'm like, okay. But now that I'm like, okay, it's going on like 5 weeks of this in and out type of deal. I might head in soon if it doesn't like fully go away. Because it's like, I'm not like deeply lung scarringly hacking like I was in the beginning for a few days. And so I'm like, that's kind of how I measure it, is like how desperate am I to get well.
What do you think you need?
I don't know. So I'm like,
Antibiotics?
I don't know if I would need antibiotics or not at this point. I wouldn't have before, but maybe now. We'll see. I might go to the doctor, I might not. I'm going to give it another like few days. And then I'm like, I'm sick of you.
One time I went to the dentist because I had tooth pain, and he's like, it's a
Yeah,
sinus
it's sinus
infection.
and pain.
Yep.
You need antibiotics.
I get that.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
So
It
it's
was so
like-
weird. He could see it on the X-ray.
Yeah, because it's like a thing.
Oh my gosh, Nick has to get such extensive dental surgery.
Oh, gosh.
I don't even understand what he was saying, but he has to get his wisdom teeth out. He's getting them out. He has to get him wisdom teeth out, and he has to do all this stuff, whatever.
He's actually going in for it?
Yeah, he's finally scheduling it after he pulled his own molar out.
Oh,
Who does
Because
that?
he's Nick Reale. Of course he did that.
He's crazy. So he pulled his tooth out, but he's having major problems. He has to get all this stuff done, and finally he's going to get done, so that's good.
You know, when I was a kid, I loved pulling my teeth out.
I mean, it's
when
kind
they
of
got wiggly, I was
I
like,
It's kind of
I thought it was like
No, it's
so
kind of
thrilling.
a thrill. It is kind of a
Oh my
thrill.
gosh,
I hated the
it.
feeling of them wiggling. I was like,
Like,
get
people
this
just
out.
let them fall out, and I was like, no, that's coming out.
I was terrified. I lived in
We
fear.
were trying to get the money.
It was sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I needed
From
that
the
money.
tooth fairy.
I
The tooth fairy who sometimes forgot to
yeah, I think my high
Tangents.
is that I got a new book and it was really good. It was a Kristen Hanna book.
Which one?
It's called okay, see, we're on different sides of Kristen Hanna.
What?
Because she has two different literary
Genres?
styles.
Oh,
Really?
Where one is like
historical fiction.
historical fiction
That's what I
and one
love.
is like romance novels.
Oh, I like the historical fiction.
Or like
That's
just
all I
like
read.
regular time fiction, but regular time is like 2004 because that's
Wait,
when they
that's
were written.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So she does both.
I
So
didn't know
I read a lot.
So you're in
of
the
them.
regular time?
Yeah.
Does the
Okay.
historical
Except for the
fiction,
one that you got me, that's The Great Alone, which is so good.
is the historical fiction romance stuff too, or is it not?
It has some
Not as
romance in
much.
it, but it's usually more of a story of a woman finding her power.
So
and then
are
there's
her
like,
other ones. They always
They
have a
all
child
are.
that's like mute for some reason, and like from anxiety, and like they help them speak again.
What?
Interesting.
It's really interesting. I love authors that like. There's certain authors where you can tell they have certain things that have like gone on in their life, or some sort type of thing they're like
It's like a theme.
attached to writing about
like
for
Nicholas
whatever.
Sparks.
Yeah.
Every author has it.
Where it's
The
like
thing that's
Disney.
like,
Yeah.
That's not an author.
I love her so much.
parents always
But
have
I was
together.
actually considering getting a Kindle now because I'm like I'm getting
The reading girlies
into
are so
the physical like.
you have to get like whatever
capacity.
They do like the little remote thing with it, and then they have like the stand, and they just lay there and like do the remote.
Yeah,
thing.
Oh, that.
I don't know about a
Oh my
remote thing, but
gosh.
yeah.
I think it hurts my eyes.
But
too
I
much.
thought like, oh, it'll be so much more cheap, like books on the Kindle, but they're still like $8. So I'm like,
Yeah, because you
girl,
can't.
you
buy
gotta
them.
check Libby and Hoopla first.
Fill up.
what is that?
It's a free library card apps. Me doing an ad for them. All you do is get a library card and you load it onto your account, and it gives you all the books for that entire
love it.
library. You can do as many
Ooh.
cards as you want. I'm actually able to find most books on there
Oh, I love
Right.
it.
Wait,
And-
on your phone?
on your phone.
How
yeah.
long can you read it for?
You get like 2 weeks or something. Like
Oh,
You
easy.
can read
But see, my
in 2
problem is
weeks.
like I would want to get it again. Can you get it again?
yes, you can get it multiple times. I've done that. You just sometimes you have to be on a wait list if it's a really popular book, but there's
no,
always
I'm
stuff
saying
that's available.
I will read it in like 4 hours
Oh yeah,
or 2.
and you can read it
depending.
again. You can read it
Guys,
as many times
I
as you
have
want.
gone through like a 400-page Kristen Hanna book in like 2 hours, 2.5.
What?
That's not right.
How did you do that? Did you actually read
I'm
it?
a speed
I'm a
reader.
slow
like,
reader.
okay, I got the
No,
gist.
I did the like speed read. I
got
need to
the
find.
gist.
I need to find these speed reading TikToks because I was doing it and I was like, oh, I can read incredibly fast because I am reading like the fastest things very, very, very easily.
That's not me.
And I'm like,
same,
I gotta
like-
do one of those.
I just want
I'm
to
really
savor.
good at
I want to
it.
savor the book.
No, I can't because I'm like, I need even if. Well, it depends. There's certain books where I'm like, if I don't know how this ends yet, I just want to know.
That's true. When I get really interested, I
page
start
turner.
skipping
Oh,
words. I'm
yeah.
like, main point, main point, main point.
I
What
do that
happened?
too
What happened?
sometimes.
Yeah.
And then I'll like
I don't
read
read
a
those
little
anymore.
slower with books that I've already read before, which is like every book. I only keep a book around if I'm going to read it like 12 times. If I read a book and I'm like, I'm not reading you ever again, I return it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So yeah, that's my life.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to ask for, Kindle Rex, maybe. We'll see.
Wow, I love that for you.
Okay,
It's just
so
too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
we're going to get to our main topic.
Easier to
First,
move.
I'm going to tell you why Lisa's not here. She's been supporting her husband through his cancer treatment, so please keep them in your prayers. They really appreciate it. And also, if you guys want to watch every full episode, you got to join our Patreon. It's $5 a month. You get every full episode. You get all the past stuff we've done, every past episode. They can go back and watch all the past live streams.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go back and watch
so
if
much
you're
stuff.
if you're in that tier. We have patrons only live streams, and we play like unreleased songs and tell you something that we haven't told the public yet. We always have like something exclusive to share, and we're putting unreleased demos on there. We did I Love You Whatever and Brand New. Those are 2 different songs. There's a lot on there. There's all these past series we've done. There's so much. Motivation Mondays. Every Monday we start your week off on a good foot.
Love a good foot. On a high foot?
So that
Love a good foot.
that is Patreon. Check it out. Thank you to our patrons. We love you. It's a new year and everyone has their goals and their dreams they want to make happen. And I'm talking directly to you. If you are like, I have this business idea, this little dream, this small business, whatever it is, and you haven't started yet, or you're like starting it right now, you just don't really know where to start. You're like, how am I going to make this happen? Shopify is here to help you make it happen. The best time to start a new business is right now. Shopify makes it simple to create your brand, open for business, and get your first sale. Get your store up and running easily with thousands of customizable templates. No coding or design skills required. All you need to do is drag and drop. Their powerful social media tools let you connect all your channels and create shoppable posts and help you sell everywhere people scroll. Shopify makes it easy to manage your growing business. They help with the details like shipping, taxes, and payments from one single dashboard, allowing you to focus on the important stuff like growing your business. What happens if you don't act now? Will you regret it? What if someone beats you to the idea? Don't kick yourself when you hear this again in a year because you didn't do anything now. With Shopify, your first sale is closer than you think. Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/Cimorelli, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Cimorelli to start selling with Shopify today. Shopify.com/Cimorelli. Our goals, we're going to start with last year and go over what were our goals, or we didn't really say all our goals necessarily, but we did like our word of the year or like our general vibe.
Intentions, yeah.
I'm so excited. Okay, who wants to go first? What was your goal or your word or your intention of last year?
I don't know. Do we have it?
We said it. It's
can
great
explain.
that we said it in the episode because otherwise I don't know what I...
Okay, I'll say mine. Let me just preface this by saying I do a word of the year as my main thing, and then I also make goals, but I like the word, and I usually just sort of pray about it in the last like quarter of the year before, and I feel like God always like there's just a word that stands out. I'll start hearing it random places and it'll just pop up over and over again. I have to say that in 2023 my word was 2023 my word was decrease, which was so meaningful. It was like based on the Bible verse, he must increase, I must decrease. It was like a minimalism year, decluttering, simplifying routines, all these things. It was great. I did not remember. I had to have Ariel help me find it. What I said, my word was this year because I didn't remember. I need
to hang it up.
I mean, well, no, the thing is, I usually remember it. This year, having a baby, I was in the thick of the 3rd trimester, really intense sickness going into this year. Had the baby in March, like postpartum most of the year, adjusting to having 3 under 3. It's been a crazy year. I have not like really been thinking in a meta way that much. I've been very much in my lizard brain?
Yes.
Where you're just like surviving.
Yeah, that is not the time when you're like, oh, how can I
Yeah,
prove?
I'm not like, let me just do a flyover of my goals.
Absolutely not.
No, I was like, oh, the house is on fire and I'm on fire. Everyone's on fire. So yeah, my word reminded me. But you know what? God did like, I feel like I heard this in like prayer. So there has to be some meaning to it. I just don't know what exactly it is yet. But it was belong.
Wait, I think
like
you
the
were
Polar
talking about...
Express.
Oh my
I love that. That's my favorite movie. My favorite Christmas movie.
I think you were talking about like nurturing your friendships. I think you were talking about that.
And I feel like
So how
that
did that
is
go
something that has been
2024?
good, really good. I feel like I was open to a lot more like meeting new people, like trying to strengthen some of the friendships I had. And also I joined my church's moms group. I actually feel like coming into the end of this year, I feel like my friendships are a lot healthier and more like strong. Just
Love
because,
it.
yeah, motherhood just really kind of threw me for a loop with like, how the heck do I balance that? That probably is what it was. I also feel like thinking about the word belong, I feel like the really positive part of this crazy year, I knew it was going to be crazy. It was postpartum. Like, I was just like, this is not the year to like finesse my life. But I was like, I knew I was going to have to just be in survival mode. But I feel like I really leaned into my role as a mom and making a home and just like trying to make it as like good as possible, which I feel like has been very challenging. But I don't know. I started like doing some homeschool stuff with the boys, which has been really fun. Trying to do more like fun activities with them and just like little things at home that literally take like 15 minutes, but just like trying to be creative since it was harder to leave the house. And a lot of times Asa was napping. So I don't know, just like trying to make my home more just fun and enjoyable and come up with things we can do throughout the day. I feel like the year before that I relied a lot on like outings, like going to the library, going to the park, doing things just to like, and I still did that a lot this year, but it was just a lot harder. So, but I feel like I've really enjoyed being in my home
How do you do
more.
3 kids? You have 2 hands.
It is really exhausting. Getting everyone out the door is just, yeah, I think I'm down to like maybe an hour and a half. That's how long it takes me to like feed, dress, pack the bags, feed myself, the baby, all the stuff. I think it's about an hour and a half now. It was like 2 hours for most this year. So it's getting a little better.
What? That's good. That's a
I
that's
usually, like today I
big
started at
improvement.
8 and for mom's group, and then we left at 9:30. Or actually I left late, yeah. So I guess I left
That's a
late.
big improvement, though.
Yeah, but I do feel like I'm like, yeah, I'm just like making a home within my home more and my life, like really like leaning into it and accepting it for what it is. And just, I think I've enjoyed it a lot more.
Love it.
And just being content with it.
Love
Okay,
it.
let's go next. Of what was your 2024?
I'll go. Mine was self-care, I guess. I was on like a self-care journey, and I was saying
did
like
happen.
yeah, it did.
It did.
Hey. I'm like, okay. But I was saying I want to enjoy life more by taking care of myself more, which I did do. I did not really enjoy life that much this year, but in the sense that I was talking about, I did though, because the beginning of last year, I was just like, this is what happened. I watched this TikTok of this girl who's like, my 8-hour hair routine. And I was like, wow, what if I spent 8 hours on my hair?
Oh my god.
And the reason why it was 8 hours was because she like put oil in it. She was counting the time that she
She was like
waited
literally
with the oil.
standing in there for 8 hours.
Yeah, so it wasn't really that. And it was like, she had this really thick, long hair. So everything took longer. But I was just like, wow, what if I actually put effort into things like that? Maybe not 8 hours, but like, this is a new world I haven't gone into. And when I started doing that, it was actually very profound because I learned, like, I don't know, I could see a lot of my like self-worth in the lack of self-care that I've been doing. Like, that was reflecting that. So when I started actually doing that, it's like a lot came up emotionally for me of like, wow, like, I don't know, just realizing a lot about how I was viewing myself and how I would prefer to view myself as more like worthwhile person. And also how much that was linked to my mental health when I don't take care of myself.
Oh,
That was so dad.
that'll do it.
Yeah.
That was so dad.
And so now it's like, I didn't do my 8-hour hair routine, but I do have way more of like a self-care routine that I actually do pretty frequently and like keep up with. So I'd say I did my goal, but you know, we're on the up and up. So just gonna get better with it.
Amazing. So mine, oh my gosh, this might have been my most successful year. for like New Year's resolutions, which is shocking because I had so much more time before. But that like part of your brain, whatever it was, I can't remember, where it's like when you do things you don't want to do and you have the experience of being like, I do not want to do this, but you do it anyway. Like it grows so much in motherhood because you literally have no choice. You're like, you don't go, oh, should I get out of bed? You're like, I have to get out of bed right now. So you're literally, body's fighting you. It's like, I do not want to get out of bed. And you do it. And then it grows that part of your brain.
I
It's
feel
so
like you
cool.
don't even have time to think, I don't want to get out of bed. You just do it.
So you don't rely.
You feel it for like a half a second. You're like, nope, delete. I'm doing it.
You don't get to. You automatically
Sorry.
start deleting it. So cool. So you don't get to rely on if you want to do something anymore because you haven't been doing it all day. You just go, well, I have to do it. Sucks
It's
for
like
me. Oh,
every
sucks for
day
me.
you wake up and it's 4 a.m. but you have a flight that you have to go to, so you have to get up and go to the
Yeah.
airport. You don't think about. You're like,
It's
all
way
right.
too painful to think about what you want to do. So you just stop because that's not
Yeah.
a good road to go down.
But that has made me so efficient with my time. When I actually have time to do stuff, I'm like, it creates like the, when you procrastinate, and then you have like, you have to get it done.
You're like,
This
I only have
happens
30 minutes.
because you go, oh my gosh, I have 30 minutes. What do I do? And you get so much more done. It's kind of crazy. So my thing for 2024 was rebuild.
Oh.
And I felt like I'd
yeah.
been so like torn down somewhat from myself, TBH, from lots of things. We were talking about that in our career. Everyone who's online gets torn down a lot, right? That's just the nature of being online, whatever. And then everyone in life gets torn down a lot. And I think everyone since COVID has been kicked down a lot. So if you put them all together, it was a lot of being kicked down. And then I was kicking myself down was the problem. So I was really tearing
It's the worst
myself down and victimizing myself. And I was getting in like such a negative space of victimizing and tearing myself down. I felt like I was like a shell of who I was.
Yeah.
It was almost like a
You're,
different
like,
personality.
Muted.
Yeah. It was like I lost like the fiery part of me. And I think this happens to a lot of moms. And I think oftentimes they don't get it back or not for like a really long time. So I knew going into the year that I was like, okay, this is time to rebuild myself. Like I've been so torn down, I've torn myself down. This is not what I need to do. I need to figure out how I can rebuild. I was just like, I'm not doing this. So in 2024, my whole journey was like, how can I rebuild my like self-esteem and like my sense of self, and then rebuilding the way that my brain was working, because it was working in such a bad way for me, like a way that was tearing me down. It's just like I had to like make new programs to run in my brain, basically. So then I started a lot of therapy and worked with a dietitian and did all this testing for my health, figure out what's going on with my energy. So then I did all this work on my nervous system, my physical health, my mental health. And I cannot believe how much I rebuilt. And I went through so many challenging mental times. It's just so hard it's such a challenge. This career is very challenging to your mind, which I do like the challenge in a way. And it feels really good. It feels so good to get up after you've been like belittled, criticized, whatever it is. It feels so good to get up and like do it anyway and put yourself out there after someone like tore you down and tried to make you feel horrible. And then you get out there and you do it anyway and you feel like really proud of what you did. It feels so good to do that. But it's hard. And it takes a lot to pull yourself back up. That is something that I practiced over and over and over, like talking to myself and being like, okay, we're getting up. We are not staying down there. So I had to like keep talking to myself about this. And I really practiced talking to myself the way, and this was I was doing in therapy a lot. And she made me do it in front of her so many times. I had to like really put myself out there. I had to talk to myself as if I was sitting there, as if the child version of me was sitting there, or however old. I talked to my postpartum self. I talked to teenage me, child me. I had to physically speak to myself. What I would say if that was my child in front of me, what would I say to build that child up and like give her confidence and nurture her and comfort her? What would I say? So I had to do that. So I practiced doing that to myself rather than what was going through my head for the years prior, which was really just so much like victimization, just like, oh, yeah, of course this happened. And well, that's horrible and sucks for me. This is horrible and that's horrible. And it was just, I got into this really bad place and it made my mental health go into the toilets.
Oh,
I really learned about the victimization of yourself because I did it to myself. And it got me in a horrible, horrible place. And it was so hard to get out of. It was like such a pattern that I was really struggled to get out of. But it was very eye-opening to me because I hadn't really been living like that before. That was horrible. So anyway, this year I cannot believe how excited I am to look back at 2024 and be like, oh my gosh, I said I wanted to rebuild and that was a huge goal. Like that was a huge undertaking and I actually did it. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe by the end of the year, I was reading multiple books. You don't know how long it's been since I really had read. I was reading multiple books, journaling. I did more journaling in 2024 than I have done probably the last 4 or 5 years combined.
Wow.
More
That's
therapy.
the same.
More therapy than I've done the last few years combined. I can't believe I actually did it. And I learned so much about my physical health, so much about my physical health and my mental health that I didn't know before. And so much about myself. And I was so vulnerable and expressed myself so much. So that, I can't say it was the most joyful, most exciting, most fun year ever, blah, blah, blah. It was definitely a challenge. But I can say that I actually achieved my goal. And I really felt like I rebuilt a really good foundation for myself going into my mid-30s, this chapter of life.
wow, you're mid-30s.
As I close out the
Right.
30s.
Close out.
Me when I'm 34.
You're
Wait,
literally
I was like, what? Wait, what,
Christina.
did I miss something?
Not that long until
Okay,
I'm
when are
40.
you gonna
You're not even in the mid.
When are you going to start being like, I'm almost 40? What's
Right
your-
now. Right now.
I
You're
love it. You are so
34.
mean.
I will be
You have
35.
6 years. You just turned 34.
5.5 years,
couple
Kat.
months ago.
5.5 years, okay?
I mean, she's more almost 40 like than I am.
Christina,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it right now. You are gonna thrive in your 40s.
I know. I can
I've
see
always
it.
known this. That'll be your peak.
40-year-old
I
Christina.
know, just like how
is gonna,
Lauren,
like, ooh.
how Lauren's like made to be like 60, 70.
I would say I'm more
Think
made
about
to be
how,
60 or
how
70.
iconic
Yeah,
Lauren will be as an
time.
elderly woman. Just think about that, okay?
I've always
Think
said
about
I would
that.
thrive
I
in
want
my
to have
30s.
long braids.
Yeah,
That's
iconic.
what I always said. I want to have long braids and be
I mean,
a
yeah,
gardener.
Amy too. You're made to
I
do that.
was made.
I'm made for my 40s
for
and
the old
50s.
man.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
could
gosh,
see.
Max and I
Have
had a
teenagers.
whole. I might have mentioned that before. Max and I had
Yeah.
a whole conversation of every sibling in our family, and do we think they're an old soul or a young soul? Which I mean, it was, that's up to interpretation. But I think we said all three of us were old souls, and Christina is a young soul.
Yeah, I'm actually not old soul, so
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense what I just said, but just trust me on that.
I get it.
All right,
40s
that's
peak.
that. It was a huge success for me. Finally, I did not.
I
have
love
because
it.
I didn't have a huge success for a while. Okay, I needed that one. You?
Me?
What was your thing for 2024?
Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's the thing.
I have had in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, an archetype of the type of person that I naturally am and would excel at being.
Okay.
And so every year I try to get, I make these goals that I never do anything about. But I think about them sometimes. But it's I have this vision and I revisit it every year.
Wait,
and it's
what is it?
Because, okay, the
Tell me the
person that
vision.
I'm naturally meant to be is very, type A, planned, does a lot of calendars. I'm scared of, you guys are going to cackle. There's a screenshot on my computer right now from therapy of my trigger of looking at a calendar.
What?
And it was trigger, response, self-soothing.
Oh
Amy's trigger
my
is
God.
looking at a calendar.
Funny. It's scary to me because I think that growing up in just for many different reasons, I just got a large fear of planning for myself and for the future and really lost in the shuffle for many different reasons. And those are between me and my therapist, the Lord, the end.
Yeah.
But, and so I've been wanting to be this person that I get closer to every year. And it's like, part of it is like really planned out, really on top of things. Like, and I'm not ever not on top of things fully, but it's like, I don't want to be like calendar scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be triggered at the thought of a calendar. And like writes down all that. Like, I write down a lot of stuff though too. It's hard because like I write down, I make the plans, and then I ignore them. So it's the ignoring part of the cycle.
Oh,
So it's like I want to be that like fully optimized, if that's not in the word realized, whatever, realized version of myself that I know that I am. That's like just like taking care of business in a good way.
Wait, is this what you said last year?
This
that what
is
you're saying?
I'm explaining it. So every year I get closer to that. And then another side of that archetype of person that I want to be is I am really creative. And I have like music that I've written, paintings that I've painted, like, you know, TikToks in my heart that I would make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I have
contain
these
multitudes.
things that I want to do, but then I get like scared of like the calendar, you know, the Logic project that houses my songs,
Yeah.
like these different things. And so every year I make the same goals, literally the same exact
I
goals
see what you're saying.
to like release my music, put out more prints, like do those type of things. Because I get like really overwhelmed, which is a big like trigger for like triggers a big shutdown in me. So all that to say, I'm still like I've made so much progress mentally towards my like goals in that sense of like, okay, I'm working on my calendar issues. I'm like becoming so much more grounded and sane of a person. And I think that in reality, I'm a lot closer to releasing music and stuff. But suffice it to say, I make the same goals every year and I don't reach them. But this is a year I can make those same goals and I feel I could actually reach them. Because I only have like 6 songs, I think, that I like.
That's an
like,
EP.
I want to, yeah.
Did you
It's
ever hang
not
them
like
up?
50.
Did you ever hang up the goals on your mirror?
No.
Did you ever make specific like this specifically is what I'm going to do? Like not just release music. This is specifically my goal for that.
No, I was
Maybe
just like, it
that's-
was too nebulous.
That's what you need to do this
because
year.
it was a hope in an archetype. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to
It's
go
like
into the planning of
ideal
it.
me is like releasing music on top of things, like looking at her calendar, like not overwhelmed by everything all the time, not like lost in a shuffle. Because if I don't like steer my life, like, and this is for everyone too, but there's so many forces at play around me in my life that will just like take me in random places, and so I have to really focus on like thinking about myself and where I like specifically want to go. But yeah.
Okay, so speaking of that, then we're talking about this year. What are your goals, your vision, whatever the heck, for this year?
I mean, I feel like this is my problem. I get a little goal hungry, and I will sit down and write like, I'm not kidding you, like 30 to 40 goals. I'll
used to
write
do
down
that.
every area of life and be like, okay, how can I get better at this? How can I get better at this? And then I just get really overwhelmed.
Yeah, a lot of goals.
So I started doing that and just kind of jotting down some ideas.
Okay.
But it's kind of the same things that, kind of like you're saying, like it's kind of like the same things I've been wanting to do for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I will say I do think I have my word of the year for this year,
Ooh.
which again, I don't know what it means. It doesn't really make sense, but I feel like it came from the Lord. I kept hearing
Okay.
it and I was praying about it, and I think it's relaxed.
Ooh, that's
And
good.
the first time I heard it was on this podcast, and this lady was saying when people study the life of Jesus, some Christian author was saying like the number one word to describe him was relaxed. And it's sort of like this idea of like, which I mean, I feel like I always get a word at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year I kind of realize more what it means. But at least right now I'm like relaxing into your identity and your worth, and just having like this like faith and hope that everything's gonna work out. Like you're just sort of like, and also just not being stressed or tense or just like anxious all the time. Like
Yeah.
really being like, it's almost like being firm in your identity and like relaxing into that. And just trusting that everything's going to work out. I don't know. I feel like that's going to be my word. I don't know how that's supposed to work out. That honestly is kind of a scary word because it's like, does that mean that everything's going to be like so bad that you have to like learn how to relax? I don't know. But hopefully not.
It doesn't have to.
Yeah. But very similar to Amy, one of my biggest things that has been really bouncing around my brain for a long time is just to like put my writing out there more.
Yes, I want to write too. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like you and I have this in common in that we live a lot of life.
We live for the written word.
We live a lot of life. We're out there having experiences, writing about it. Like we have a lot of stuff already created,
Or
just
that we
in
want
the
to
cooker,
create.
and it's just sitting there. It's not. Which, granted, I have this sort of philosophical debate with myself all the time where I'm like, it's still worth it even if no one sees it.
Yes.
Because you did it for yourself in that moment and it meant something to you and it helped you and it healed you. But I also do think there's people that can benefit from reading your work, you know, your writing or hearing your song or whatever form you're doing, you're painting. Other people benefit from that. Art is healing and our world desperately needs healing. I'm just going to say, even though I hate saying it, not knowing if I'm going to do it, but I really want to start a newsletter just of like putting out my poetry and essays.
Yes, Catherine, start it.
I've literally been saying this since like 20.
I'll put like
21.
multiple emails in for you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I just want to put my writing out there more. And I literally just wrote a poem on my phone last night. Like I write poetry all the time. I always have ideas for essays and I'll start them. I just need to like organize it and finish it and put it out there. So I think that's one of my biggest goals for 2025 is just to put my writing out there more. So
I love it.
we'll see. Maybe I can be your accountability and you can be mine.
Yeah.
I'm like, gotta do it.
Yeah.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
No, for
So true.
real and for free.
Yeah, I don't know why, like doing it as a band
Kat.
feels so much less scary than doing
I
something individually.
Have a
Because
dream.
it's not
yeah.
just you.
Kat, I
Yeah.
have a dream in my heart for you that both of you, I have such lofty goals for you.
What? About
on
what?
TikTok. I have a dream in my heart.
Oh
that
my gosh.
You are one of those poetry influencers that
Yes.
sits there reciting their poems in the dark with a candle.
Yes.
I mean, I would
And
love
you
to
can
do that.
And
then
saying, like, reflections.
I
Yeah.
need you to be one of those mom comedians.
Please.
That literally
Oh my
just
gosh.
says the crazy things her children said.
Yes.
Or acts
Cannot
things
do
out
that.
about them. I need it.
That's so funny.
Please, the people need it. They
No,
need
Christina
it.
just needs a comedy TikTok. Let's
Yes.
be real.
You need a comedy
You
TikTok
need to do
where you like
comedy.
do comedy and then you inspire the moms, like
no.
giving them pep talks.
That video where you
That's
said
what I
that
like.
Barrett said you looked like Jesus.
Yes, Christina.
So
That's
funny.
comedy.
So 4 million views. Come on.
She's a
know.
comedian, ladies.
Demand
I'm too
it.
busy with the band.
Okay,
Leading
the people
band.
demand it though. They do.
Side project. Come on.
No.
Christina,
I gotta pour everything into
what
Okay,
if no?
maybe later.
What? No,
Maybe
I
another time.
When you
will
have
be
more
bringing
time.
this up again to you.
Maybe when I'm older.
Yeah, in your 40s
Second
when
career.
you peak.
Stand-up comedian.
Yeah, maybe in my 40s.
Wait, Christina the comedian. Okay.
Absolutely
Yes.
not.
Stand-up
On
comedian.
TikTok saying
That is a nightmare.
thing. No, I'm just saying, guys.
Can you imagine
I
how
have a
vulnerable
vision.
that would feel?
I have a vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Next.
I could go. Okay, as I was pondering just now, I feel like the word that comes up for me is do.
Yes.
Where I feel like I've been held down so much by my mental issues that I just like, I think, I wish, dream, and I don't do things because I'm like, oh, I'm too tired, oh, too depressing, oh, too scared, oh, I can't do it. And I feel like now I'm getting to a place where I am not so beholden to the
law.
storms of my soul. Wow, it's so poetic.
I love it.
It's poetic. I love it.
And I can actually like choose to do what's best for me regardless of how I feel, and like I'm just really getting in the habit of doing things regardless of how I feel and just moving forward and doing what I need to do irregardless. So yeah, like I really want to put out my next album this year, which I will. I'm not going to keep waiting on that. I
You're
will
not
do
like
that.
me.
Was your last one 2023?
Yeah.
I mean, 2025, 2 years, that's great. That's like, I feel like you're right on track, you know?
Yeah. I
time
could
is
have
fresh.
done it in 2024, but it just wasn't the time mentally.
You were doing so much inner work.
Yeah, I wasn't there. And I didn't have the vision that I have now.
Which that inner
You
work
have
is...
to have a vision as
Yes.
the artist.
I know. I was literally thinking sorry, I just cut
You
in,
have
but
to.
for everyone, I was saying, like, as you were talking about your original music and your painting, I'm like, you need a vision board. So I didn't say that earlier.
I do.
But it's
Yeah.
like, vision board.
Well,
and
I feel like I haven't had the vision for my album until literally like last week. I was like, I know what it is now.
Gosh. I'm so
So, yeah. Like I want to do that, and I want to travel more.
Ooh.
Like I want to go on a road trip.
Yes.
Go to national
Please travel
parks.
for me.
I want to go on a ski trip in the
Lauren,
summer, or not the
yes.
summer,
Oh
the
my
winter.
gosh,
Like
living your best life.
I really want to like adventure and like so like do in like a work sense. I really want to work a lot in a good way that I enjoy. You know, not like unhinged, and I want to like do like adventurous things as well. That's kind of what I would like to focus on.
Yeah. It's
Love
giving
it.
like you're ready to like experience. You want to experience. You want to work hard. You want to go out there.
Yeah, it's like work hard, play hard. Because I feel like what you're saying about like this vision you have for yourself, where you're supposed to be. I'm like, I feel like I am really adventurous and I'm really hardworking. And it's like, you know, in another life, I would be like some van life person that lives in a van traveling around,
skating.
whatever.
Oh my gosh,
Like
Lauren,
that
I
would
see
be
that.
me. And I'm like, I need to like let those pieces of myself live.
I feel like another word that I'm getting for you, maybe a sub word, is expand.
Oh.
It's like your soul is expanding, your horizons with adventures.
Horizons are
Yeah.
expanding.
I don't know. I just feel like
I just want to like
I love it.
be bold,
yes.
live life.
That sounds like a fun year.
Yeah, and
I
I
wanna
think
ski
I
trip.
actually am capable of doing that this
I
year.
love it.
But you know, we'll see.
Guys, if you have the means, please take a road trip. I'm begging you. That is what life is
I know
made
my
of.
dream that I can't
Love
do right
road
now
trips.
is what you're saying. My dream would be if I was taking road trips around to small towns, like historical,
Yes!
random small towns that have like nothing special. about
Literally
them,
me. Oh my gosh.
And then
Literally.
national parks,
Yes.
random small
Like
towns, historical
historical
places.
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
That'd be
my
my
gosh.
dream.
A giant dream is to go to Norway for me. I see
Yes.
the TikToks. I gotta go.
Guys, I would
Yeah,
love for us to
that's
do like a
what I'm
family trip.
Yeah.
So fun to the
I know.
beach.
I'm trying to
Just go to the
plan.
We
beach.
all
this
get like
summer.
little houses,
let's
like
go.
and do
Yeah.
a beach trip, How
Family
fun would that
trip.
be?
I love it. Let's go.
or the mountains. Oh my gosh,
I'm in.
so fun.
Okay, love that. So it's like 2024. You were like, kind of what I'm doing, rebuilding. What I was
Yeah.
doing. You were like doing a lot of work, and now you like built this foundation. You're like, okay, now I'm ready to do.
Yeah, it's like I'm not like now I'm perfectly healed. I'll never have a problem again. But it's like now I know how to manage. So when I do get knocked off track, I actually know how to get back on instead of just falling into the wilderness forever. It's like you're never going to be like perfectly on track all the time. But if you can learn better and faster how to just get back on, I feel like that's like a stable life. Not expecting that you never fall off. Knowing how to get back on.
Yes.
That's too real.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So last year, aka the year of our Lord 2024, I'm not even like. It's interesting because I've been on many journeys mentally, as I have spoken about. But it's interesting because I don't think I ever intentionally, in certain ways, like I tend to have a natural inclination to be like, okay, someone's working on something specific, like anything they say they're working on, I'm like, honestly, anything anyone ever says they're working on, even on TikTok, it's kind of a problem. I think it's an OCD thing where I'm like, oh, this person has this disease, this problem. Do I have this disease or this problem? So anything people are working on, I like mentally am like thinking about if I should be working on it too. Or if my problems are this, like what my problems are and whatever. So I went on a lot of journeys, and in like the strangest, this was the biggest year for like my mental health, in a way of like my like anxiety and OCD has decreased so exponentially. It's insane. I almost like like I feel like I can function fully now, and like the OCD gods, like they don't really get to me anymore. Like I didn't realize like my the OCD tendencies were so bad, and for my entire life I mistook them for just anxiety, but the anxiety was a symptom, not the problem. So this year I made such strides in like OCD management. So now I feel like I can live my life and like be the archetype that I want to be of like, okay, I really do think, guys, this will be the year that I plan to put out music and at least put out one song. Okay? I really actually do think
Do you
that.
have the same goals?
Yes, basically the same goals.
Do you have
of like
a word?
putting out. I honestly don't know.
Or a theme?
My theme is like step up. Just like step up to the plate. Just go do the things you need
Show
to do.
up.
Step up to the
Show
plate.
up. Step up like for yourself. And like another big goal, guys, this one is so embarrassing, but it's not actually. I'm getting so much better with embarrassment. Is, guys, I cannot be 30 years old, okay? I'm turning 30 this
You're
year.
turning 30. Oh my
6
gosh.
months, 5.5 months, I will be 30. And I can't be turning 30 and not have physically changed anything about my lack of a dating life. I just can't do that.
Okay.
I went on a grand total of basically one date in the entirety of last year. And it was someone that I went on one date with the year before. So like,
Are you making a goal to actually go on?
yes, actually. Yes. And
That's
I
a
don't
change.
feel like I'm gonna like die about it because I'm like, it's not a big deal. It's like, okay, you go out, you meet people. Like,
I mean, you
it's
love
not
meeting people.
embarrassing
Oh
because
my
I
gosh.
thought like dating was so embarrassing.
No.
That
Well,
is
I mean,
such
it
a trick,
is.
though. It's not
It, like,
embarrassing. it's only
very
if you make
vulnerable.
it
It's not embarrassing.
vulnerable.
It's vulnerable.
It's the
Embarrassing.
devil in your
Exactly.
brain
Exactly.
lying to you.
And like Lauren and I had this great conversation about it the other day, and she remapped my brain. So that's one of my big goals this year is to put myself out there and like
Actually
go on dates.
Actually speak
At
to
least
a man
try.
and not ignore them all.
Hey, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is speak to the right men, because I have had this terrible toxic. It's not even terrible toxic trait, but like this type of man that I've been talking to that doesn't talk to me. So there's not really much talking.
Not being attracted to the most avoidant men.
Yes, because I am Well, actually, I'm way less avoidant than I was. Good for me. Anyway,
Finding an available man and letting him
yes,
speak to you and letting him take you on
and
dates.
like unlearning.
We love it.
Yes, so that's my goal, guys, and I think I
Okay.
can do it.
I'm trying to think of a word for you, but I can think of what the opposite of it is.
Okay.
The thing that I feel like you did a lot of work last year was like learning how to not overthink.
Yes.
Oh,
And just to like just jump, just do it.
Yes.
And I'm not sure what the word is, but it's something along the lines of like just jump, like
Yeah,
where they're like,
I like
you know,
it.
like in the movie, one of my favorites, Walter Mitty.
Yes.
All it takes is 30 seconds of insane courage.
But that's
We
what
Bought
I
a
do.
Zoo.
Oh, sorry, We Bought a Zoo. That's one of my other favorite movies. There's another great quote from Walter Mitty. But anyway, yeah, when he says like, you just have to do it before you even give yourself a chance to overthink it. Just do it. Go on the date. Put the song out. Like, put the paintings out. Like, do the thing.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And just don't even let yourself think about it long enough to stop you. And
Yeah. So that's my plans.
I love it.
Thanks for listening to the Cimorelli podcast. To hear the rest of this episode, join our Patreon at patreon.com/Cimorelli, where we post every episode in full. You can also watch all of our past seasons and Patreon-only episodes when you become a patron.
You've been listening to the Cimorelli podcast. Follow Cimorelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimorelli on Facebook and Instagram.